long that may go.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, what's sort of the future of the Germs, or your future with music? Like, what are you thinking about?
Well, my future with music, I don't know. I'd like to start another band at some point, I think. But, it's going to become drastically different than Jonny Was. And I had a lot of fun with Jonny Was. It's nothing to say anything with that. But I think if I got into another band, it would not be worrying about signing the record contract, going around that way. Basically, it'd be more for fun. And if anything happened, it happened. But not to have the stress of that. Because I did go through the stress of that for about 7 or 8 years with Jonny Was, and seeing what labels would take us, and then our songs being really catchy for our fans, but not catchy enough for them, and just constant like having to change who you are, and I didn't want to have to do that anymore.
Yeah.
And as far as the Germs, they didn't really know the future the first time around, so it's not there may be, who knows the future for them now.
Right.
The last show we just played a fun gig in LA at this place called Cinespace. That could have been the last gig, who knows? I know it won't be, but it could have been, and so it's like we never really know going into it. And we'd like to tour around for when this film comes out, to play the cities that it, was able to air at.
Yeah.
To help, get people more interested in getting out. And, but, it's, I don't know, Pat always says the next show is his favorite one, and so far I haven't let him down, and we haven't let him down. The fans haven't let us down.
That's good. Congratulations for that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's another question I was wondering about. Like, what's the crowd like? Like, if you could sort of project yourself back into that time into this time, what audience are you playing? Are you playing to an older audience, or do you
mainly a younger? But it really depends on where we are. It also heavily depends on if it's 21 or over and things like that too.
Yeah.
And if we did 2 Warped Tours a couple years ago for fun, 3 a couple years ago for fun, and that was an interesting crowd, and it's a lot more emo there now, so like most of the fans were a little confused as to what they were seeing. They knew they were supposed to watch it, but they didn't know what it was.
Right. Not quite aware of the significance of the Germs.
Knew that, yes, exactly. So it's sort of hard. It's in the early days I was 90% berated by the fans, and I had to kind of prove myself. And nowadays it's pretty much 15% berated by fans. Mm-hmm. It's a majority of fans of us in general, which is great. And that's only a testament to us touring around, playing a lot, me taking my lumps, me being able to dish out the garbage as well.
Like Darby would.
Well, because a lot of these people forget that, a lot of these shows that Darby played back and, was completely booed off stage. It's not, I have to remind myself of that to know, especially in the early days of me playing, it's been about 2.5 years now, it's like, if there were a lot of boos and there were a lot of chaos, I had to remind myself that this happened to the man himself anyway.
Right.
So, of course it's going to happen. This is a part of it. So what it is you have to be able to dish what you can take, and be able to give it back and give it back intelligently enough that it's memorable and that it can shut them down. And to be honest, it's been, I was, a heavy reader and a big comic book fan and, things like that. So there's not much anyone can say from the audience that's going to detract me from putting them down. So it's a lot of fun, actually.
Well, that's
yeah. So.
Do you get it? I'm sure some. I was like what you're saying is it's a much more sedate show now than it was then. Do you?
Yeah, in a way. It depends on the fans and it depends on the city. Some of them are out of control. We kind of let it go with the city or the venue. Whatever the people do and want, we'll see. I've gotten progressively crazier at the shows, and it really kind of depends on my mood. But I don't at the same time want to imitate Darby. It's like it's like I finally did for the first time in a show that wasn't even. It's not even a photo from I can't even find in San Jose, where I covered myself in peanut butter and did this stereotypical thing. But it was because something was thrown on stage and I thought it was fun and I was drunk at the time. It sounded like a good idea. And it's an awful idea for the rest of the night, but it was fun. People loved it, but it's not going to be a thing of mine because that might have been a thing. It wasn't even a thing of his. It was like he did it twice. It's not even like a thing, but it becomes legend and it becomes a thing. Yeah. So for me, I'm not going to cut myself and maim myself on stage. Most of the time he maimed himself on stage was accidental anyway. So if I've been cut on stage, which I was in my first show, and cut open my beer bottle, it was accidental.
Yeah.
I'm not going to cry about it, but I'm not going to also be stupid enough to, I'm not Gigi Allen or anything.
Right.
So it's a short lifespan.
Well, great. I don't want to take up any more of your time. Your movie, What We Do for Secret, director Roger Grossman, who was in the room with us.
Who's present. Stop saying that.
Showing tonight, Saturday, what's today, April 12th?
Yeah.
At 7 p.m. at the Prince Theater, and tomorrow, April 13th, at the Ritz East.
For an afternoon show? Was it
for an afternoon, 2:30 p.m. for an afternoon show. Tickets are at phillyfests.com. It's PHILLYFESTS.com. Mm-hmm. You get tickets there. So, anyway, thank you very much, Shane West. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And good luck with the movie. Good luck with the Germs and all your future endeavors.
Thanks a lot, man. Absolutely.
Thank you.